So a lot of people who don't invest in markets so much ask me where silver is going to go. It's going to go up or down. Should they buy some? And I'm going to give you an overview of where I think it's going based on my technical analysis experience. We're looking at a monthly chart of silver. Okay. So here back in 2011, there was a peak. Okay. Um, but before we do that, we're going to go look at some other charts here. So there's this important principle, and that is it guides a lot of what I do, but this is the S&P 500. You see there's an invisible line you can draw across here. And for March 2000 to March 2013, 13 years, it stayed in this range. Now, when it got through this range, it made this huge run. And that's the idea. So the bigger the flag and the more time it touches the flag, the bigger the moves when it does eventually break out. And we're going to look at a couple other charts here real quick. We're going to look at Dow Jones. That was also the same case in the 2012 era. We look here in the 60s. Okay. In fact, we can look at all sorts here. So look at this range. Okay. So for the early 1900s, it was trapped in here. Then you see this. This is the 1929 crash. And because it went straight up, it comes straight down. So there's a peak here. And it broke through this. And it went up for several years. Okay. Not the same. There's only one peak. Um, Here you have one, right, which is really nice. It's very flat. It's very long. This is something like 20 years roughly. And when it got through the 1960s, we have the 1980s bull market, which some of you may remember. And so that's the idea. Longer, flatter, more touch points. So let's look at gold. And I argued with someone who wrote an 80-page paper. He worked at a college. Why? He said gold was expensive. And I said, no, it's going to go up. And this was a couple of years ago. This is interesting, this zone of gold here, 1970s. It doesn't really detail as much, but when it gets through, it goes straight up for many years. Again, these are monthly charts. You can see the years on the bottom here. Just ignore this thing here. I have lots of stuff on there. It's not relevant. Uh, and then here, you have gold. Once it gets through this peak, it does go up for a ways. But again, it's not like it's flat. Not a lot of touch points. Okay, it just kind of comes down. And this was kind of maybe the point where you could have bought gold, but 2003. Anyway, so you see a line here across here, my cursor, and that was where I was arguing it was going to go up. Now look at it, just going up for months and months. It's a couple of years now. Now, it's important to know that the longer it is and the more touch points, the bigger the moves are. Now, let me show you why silver is the biggest flag I have ever seen. Okay, we call them flags, or you can call them zones or ranges. Okay, but first of all, this is okay, 2000. Sorry, 1900s. Okay, you can see when it got out of this bowl. Okay, it did go up and had crazy runs. Okay, it was $1 an ounce in 1971 and 34 an ounce in 1980. So in 6 years, now I'm going to apologize. A lot of my drawings are going to show up here when I do this, but I'm just kind of count, see how big it went. Okay. Okay, so it went up 2,400%. I'm going to count the CAGR on this. Hold on a second. Okay, let's say you're a wizard and you knew exactly to buy it there. Okay, you'd achieve a 49%, about 50% compound interest. So every year it's going up 50% every year, every year, every year. And for 8 years, that's actually really good, right? And this assumes that you know when to exit this thing, because if you even got out a month late, okay, it drops to 31%. And that's the thing with these parabolic moves, which means they go straight up. they tend to come straight down eventually. So the best case for silver, it doesn't go up that much that fast. But keep note of this number, like 2,000%. Okay, here it went up 700%, and this is why silver is the largest flag I've ever seen, 1979 to 2025. Now, I was watching this a while ago, and sometimes it helps to do these underneath the lines here. See this? Um, I thought, well, maybe it would come in here for another year or two and slow down, but it looks like it's gone through it, and you can see it's pretty straight up. But it's possible then, using these historical moves, that over time it could go up thousands of percent. Now, a lot of people I know are not really investors in markets, but they do like to think of silver as the apocalypse currency, and for the foreseeable future, kind of maybe looks like it could go up 1,000, 2, 3,000, 4,000%. Now, people say, should I buy? Well, I'm not an investment advisor, so I don't give advice. All I can say is that we're clearly going to move up, and I no guarantees. Now, one drawback to silver is that it tends to be really correlated with the stock market. So when the stock market crashes, so does silver. Here it's the opposite. Back in the 80s, okay, stock market went up, silver went down. Um, but in COVID, for example, where's COVID on here? In COVID, this is COVID right here. So this thing went straight down during COVID, and that's what makes this thing not like some sort of slam dunk or anything like that. But it went down 40%, okay, or close to it, 35% in just a few months. And maybe if there's no stimulus, bailout, whatnot, or people didn't trust it, this thing could have kept going down. Now you can see it's been going straight up. Um, Ideally, there's some pullback. In fact, it's 50% above its $50 price right now. So it's made huge moves. I mean, the time to buy it would have been here if you're buy and hold kind. Um, but that's why if we multiply silver and say it goes up at least 500% over a couple of years, you might it might be worth $250, and I think that's conservative. The only two questions is how fast will it go up? Because if it doesn't go very fast, it's I mean, back like the 70s, that was pretty good actually, 50% per year. Um, and if it gets too parabolic, will it crash? And you can see here how how it did this in 2011. But again, it hit that 1979 price. Where oh, sorry, that was 1979. 2011 hit that 1979 price, and all these people were basically selling. Um, I don't know what people have held on to silver from this point in 1979, but clearly they did. And this is what I think drives these charts is the psychology, as I say. So this was also a nice, really good buy point for silver. That's probably the best point here in recent history, and it was 35 bucks an ounce. So that's the silver case, and if it goes up 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%, I don't know if you can do the math on that, but that'd be like $1,500 an ounce. Um, could we have a repeat in the 1970s? Yeah, of course. And that's the idea is moves that they have made in the past, they can make again. And the bigger the flag, the bigger the move. I do expect some pullback here the next couple of years or something, and you don't know. Sometimes these things just go straight up and they don't slow down, but that's not usually the case. Anyways, hope that was useful.